Then we need to really make a choice about whether we are practicing our needling on these distal points uh, above or below the ankles. That's it. We got to make a choice. How distal is distal? Above the wrist, below the wrist. Above the ankle, below the ankle. Right? Here you'll see I said ankle because for a lot of these issues, those yin channels go through the whole torso and are usually more effective. But it doesn't mean that there won't be the day when an upper distal channel is more important. Okay? But we're going to assume it's the lower channels. And this is a very good time, if it's been a while, to review your antique points or your 66 points or your Jing River in English and the Jing Well and the Ying Spring and whatever they're calling them in English. And I want us to grasp a very important thing is that most likely you were probably trained to think organ channel specific. So you're going to needle the gallbladder channel for the gallbladder, and you're going to needle the stomach channel for the stomach, and you're going to needle the yin channel, the spleen channel for the spleen, and you're going to needle the liver channel for liver constraint. And the thinking is, it's hard. I will have people argue with me that why am I needling on the wrong channel? Or why would I not be needling that channel? Here's the answer, very simply put. Also, everyone would have learned the antique points. And there's a nice phrase for them. Treats, loss of voice, changes in the voice. It treats hot and cold. It treats heat, right? I mean, read those points. What the Jing Well does, what the Ying Spring does. And they all, each at each of the 5 steps, all the way up to the Hussy points, treats a type of illness. Now, guess what? The Hussy point on the Yang channels and the Yin channels treat the same thing because it's a Hussy point. It doesn't really care what channel it's on. So, ergo, it doesn't really matter what channel we're on when we're making a shift in Qi. Now, if I can line things up and it works, great. But I would rather be on the correct area above the ankle, below the ankle, really close to the toes, up by the knee because of what it does to the Qi in the body, and be on the wrong channel, but the right antique point, than to be on the right channel at the wrong antique point, right? So why do the antique points work so well? Well, they don't. If you aren't paying attention to where the Qi is in the person, the more intense the pain or severity of the condition is affecting their Qi and blood, the further it's being pushed out to the extremities. Therefore, I need to match how far it's getting to know where to be. Because if there's raging pain and I'm needling a Hussy point, that flow of Qi and blood, it's so strong that it's hitting the fingers. And the fingers are like, rah, and they're like, ah. And I'm needling up here. It's like trying to needle in the middle of a river. It's not going to do anything, right? So I want to judge based on intensity of condition and the person's Qi. It doesn't matter how intense that condition is if they don't have a lot of Qi and blood, right? So it doesn't matter which Hussy point you picked at. It matters that you made a judgment call on how far the Qi and blood is in that patient, able to reach enough that you can communicate it with it. Now, if their hand has not turned black and died, the Qi and blood is getting to the fingers. Okay, let's be real clear. I'm saying, the Qi doesn't get to the fingers. Of course, the Qi got to the fingers, or it would be dead, right? Necrosis. But not enough to work with to do something exciting. So I pick which of the antique points in terms of how far down based on intensity of Qi due to the condition and the strength of the patient's Qi, right? Some people, like an athlete, they've got good, strong Qi and their illness is not very serious. But if I'm needling up here, right? I needle down here, I'm going to get a big change, right? So it's not as simple as the illness. It's not as simple as their chi. It's not as simple as matching the He point, and it's not as simple as being on that channel. But there is a pecking order. First, how far down is their chi and blood getting? Pick that area. Then that helps you decide which He point to get to based on whether they're face up, face down, on their side, what you can get to, because they all do the same thing, whether it's the Jing, Ying, Spring, I never remember they are in English, the fancy words, right? So then we can talk about if on top of that I can match it to the channel and the position's good, okay.